is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest story of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversations, we're going to be talking about, let's see what we got on the agenda today. Rapper entrepreneur Wiz Khalifa recently indicted in Romania, out of all places. I'll tell you why. We'll read a little more within the show. Also, I forgot to uh, discuss icons. Dave Chappelle, comedic icon, Dave Chappelle, and hip hop icon, Grammy Award. Well, actually, both of them are Grammy Award winners. But Killer Mike, they're going on tour, man. They're collaborating. They're going to be co-headlining a tour happening in I think sometime this month called Still Talking That Ish tour. But obviously it's the word, but they don't actually they don't spell it fully. I'll talk more about it later on. Also, out of all companies, you would think I wouldn't be talking about any beef or issues happening in Hallmark. What? Exactly. So it looks like Hallmark is facing a lawsuit, really an age discrimination lawsuit, that is, a suit by ex-casting executives and stars Holly Robinson Peete, as well as Lacey Chabert, quote unquote, too old programming executive vice president allegedly said. So look, my friends, we're going to talk all about it. And of course, I want to share something that I recently done that I want to just share with you all, the audience, and I'll mention that later on in the show. So again, thank you for tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule for tuning into yet another great episode here on the show. Look, we are a weeknight program. You can catch us Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, as well as wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. So there's multiple ways you can tune into the program, as well as following us on our social media platforms. Instagram, The Arrington Gavin Show, is really simple, as well as on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Arrington Gavin Show. So stuff that I can't tie in or mention here on the show, we discuss it outside on social media, because we have it gives us a platform, gives us more time to discuss it, and just want to continue the conversation because it's hard to impact a lot of stuff within this hour. Also, my friends, always gotta shout out our awesome supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, Ingenious Gin is a Black-owned, veteran-owned spirit that has a unique spin of the original gin. That's right, this rose gold complexion gin is very, very, I will say, unique, because I myself am a whiskey bourbon guy, but there's only one gin that I partake in, and that is Ingenious Gin. So look, for more information, you can go to your local Spirit or ABC stores, or you can go online, go to the hub itself, go online at www.ingeniousgin.com. As you see provided on the screen, if you're streaming this episode right now, I provided a 20% off discount code. So if you at checkout on their website, place that code there, and you would receive 20% off your purchase, my friends. So multiple ways you can tune in, and multiple ways you can support, again, a veteran-owned and Black-owned business. And I thank them so much for their countless support of the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, I will have our fun fact of the day, as we always do, and then we'll get going with some topics within our conversation. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We'll be right back.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, we always like to start off the show with a fun fact before we get going in our conversation. Why? Because we just want to keep y'all up to speed and up to date on some factual things. You know, we want to keep your brain insightful and full of information that not everybody might know. It's a great conversation starter, as well as again, just good information to have. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to my headphone cord was getting all tangled up over here. So look, today's fun fact is, did you know that parts of the Great Wall of China were made with sticky rice? Did anybody know? Nobody? Okay, it's all right. Because let me tell you something. I didn't know it either. I did not know this at all. Was I interested in finding out about this? No, but I just thought it was pretty cool. Because how much, of course, we all know about the Great Wall of China. I've always wanted to potentially walk it someday, just because I've learned about it in history class. It's probably one of the main things that I've actually paid attention in history class was the Great Wall of China, just because for how big it is, and it's like, okay, this keeps you it keeps going on and on in my mind. I'm like, damn, how long did it take them to build that? So it says here that yes, it's actually true. The Great Wall of China was built with sticky rice uh m- motor martyr, excuse me, composite material that was a technological innovation during the Ming dynasty that was going on from 1368 to 1644 AD. So for those who did not know about that, yeah, parts of the Great Wall of China was made from sticky rice. I tell you, I mean, it's like what you can do with sticky rice is it just blows my mind, because it goes with every single meal and it tastes amazing. You can freaking put it in a in a structural building or a bridge. I mean, come on. It's like it blows your mind. It really blows your mind. But anyways, let's go ahead and move it on to some of our conversation topics. Let's see here. First up, as we forgot to mention on the last episode, I talked about Wiz, well, not Wiz Khalifa, which I want to talk about that a little later on, but Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle and the music icon Killer Mike will be heading on tour, my friends. They will be heading on tour with the Still Talking That Ish tour, which, I mean, let's be honest, both of them are very known to say what's on their mind, and you know, hey, they could care less, and you know what? They're well respected individuals too, so they have the right to do that. I'm a huge Dave Chappelle fan. He's been my top two of favorite comedians of all times. Number one is Bernie Mac, the late great Bernie Mac. Killer Mike, I'm a fan of his music. I'm a fan of his philanthropic work that he does in the Georgia area, specifically Atlanta. He's an outspoken individual. No shame about it. He's big when it comes to the knowledge and importance of local government, right? He's one of the advocates that I always admire when they speak on public policy and things like that. He's very vocal on saying, hey, he's voting on policy, not the person. That's one thing I do disagree as far as just with this upcoming presidential race. I'm not going to just say I focus on policy and not the person, because the policy that I bring on inherits a person as a true a-hole, in my opinion. A person that keeps divisiveness, and I'm not a fan. I'll just say that I'm not a fan. But anyway, I want to read you guys this article reported by Variety. It says here that Dave Chappelle and Killer Mike are still talking that ish. The controversial comedian and the rap legend, alongside his live band, the Midnight Revival, has announced a co-headlining tour in this year of 2024 to kick off. Next, let's see. Oh, kickoff actually, it looks like in November, sometime in November. Yes, because the year is really almost over. Produced by Live Nation, the 7-city tour will feature a fusion of music and comedy across a joint set. The limited run joint kicks off November 15th at the Fox Theater in Detroit, making stops across the U.S. in Atlanta, Boston, New York, and more before wrapping up at Long Beach's Long Beach Terrace Theater on November 24th. Now, tickets will be available through a general on sale beginning. Let's see. Well, okay, so it looks like they're already available. They're already out. And be sure to go to Ticketmaster.com to purchase your tickets. Says here, Killer Mike and Dave Chappelle, as longtime friends, with Chappelle most recently featured in the opening monologue of the rapper's 2022 single Run, alongside also featuring Young Thug. The pair has taken the stage together numerous times, but this marks the longest string of co-headlining dates. So I'm actually gonna be I'm gonna try and get some tickets myself. Shoot, I want to go see this. I know they're gonna be pricey, and I know they're not gonna be cheap, because I've tried to see Dave Chappelle stand up wise, and that man is not cheap. You feel me? He is not cheap, but he is worth it. That's one person I will spend the money to go see. I've always been a huge fan of Dave Chappelle. I think he's extremely intelligent, funny as hell, and I love his take on current events. You know what I mean? Like he's just a person that he's welcome to everybody, and so he's a guy that will, talk junk, say about, politicians on the right, while co-headlining tours with comedians that are fans of the right. You know what I mean? But he's just a very well-respected individual. And yeah, so I think this will be a great, fun concert. I love the collab between a musician and a comedian, because really, in past times, back in the olden days, that's how it was. Either a music act will be the opening, will open for a comedian, or vice versa. I remember hearing like Eddie Murphy saying he opened up for, say, this musician and that musician. Richard Pryor had a band or a music act open up for him before he got on to do comedy. So I think it's quite a neat mix, and I like how they're trying to bring it back to some of the younger generation, because, like I told you, I love comedy. I love witnessing and watching stand-up comedy. I rarely go to music concerts, but it's a great mesh between the two, because I like concerts. I love music concerts and musical artists and things like that. But I just prefer to laugh more, and and to hear people talk. I'm weird like that. That's what I love to put my money in, is stand-up comedy. And sometimes the tickets are a little more inexpensive. I'll be honest. I'm a cheapskate sometimes. Comedy shows are more inexpensive to me than concerts. Now, depending on who you see, because Kevin Hart, like I mentioned, or Dave Chappelle's not cheap, and neither is Kevin Hart. I mean, them tickets are not cheap, but you're in for a treat, and it's worth seeing them. I think the most expensive concert tickets, most expensive comedy tickets I've paid for was to see Wanda Sykes, and it was worth it. She's a Hampton Roads native. It was around my birthday. It was a gift to me from my wife. Shout out wifey. And it was dope. As far as concert tickets, I splurged on some tickets for my from our anniversary, because my wife loves what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan. Loves her. So I was very happy to, I was good, splurge on the wife, get some good seats and enjoy a great evening, which we did. But yeah, so keep in mind, y'all, still talking that ish tour. Check them out right now on Ticketmaster.com. Y'all, matter of fact, y'all can download the app, because you gotta be careful when it comes to these ticket ticket companies out here. Okay, there's a lot of people out there. They got like what Ticketcaster and all this other stuff that people assume that, oh, that's Ticketmaster and it's the first one that's up there. Look, make sure you read the fine print, because I almost bought some scam tickets before, man. So you want to be careful. Y'all really want to be careful with that. Let's see here. Before I move on to the next story, y'all, I want to share something that was a bucket list thing of mine that I completed a couple days ago. So I went and I recently had went canvassing along with a local candidate here in my home city. And this candidate's running for city council, dear friend of mine. And he's this is not his first time running. He came unsuccessful a couple times, but at the end of the day, you love the passion. He's right for the citizens. It's a matter on messaging and just getting the word out there and things like that. And I had the opportunity to host an event to help encourage young people to get out there and vote. And it's all going to kind of tie into what I'm talking about. So I did that the evening before, and then the next day I had went out canvassing. Now, canvassing is a form of when you go to different neighborhoods, literally knocking on doors. Hey, we have information about this candidate. If you're interested here, have some literature. You can either accept it, you can ignore it. It's all good, right? So um we went, right, and we hit 100 homes in total. This is my first time, y'all. When I tell you every bit in my body is sore, and it was hot, and it was an experience, right? Because you're encountering in a neighborhood that we hit was older neighborhood, predominantly African American, that leans more left, but you still had a lot of you still had a lot of white. I mean, you had a lot of yeah, Caucasians that are also lean left, but then there was a lot of people that were Trump supporters out there, right? So you know the mixed demographic. And then there was a lot of people with some mean dogs. I'm like, oh my god, why you got the screen and porch door just blocking this big ass dog that could literally bite my face off? Like, it was intimidating because it was my first time, but it was an experience. Had the opportunity to talk with folks, a lot of young people, really young families. And then I encountered a gentleman, which was funny. That one of the first house that had this big dog, they ran up to the door, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please do not bust through this door, please, Lord, please. And he didn't. But the owner, one was in the car, one of the owners was in the car, the gentleman, and his wife was already inside the house. But I asked him, I'm like, hey, you live here? He's like, yeah, I do. He said, my wife is sleeping, so that's probably why no one's answering the door. So I was just handing out some information in regards to some of the local candidates in the upcoming election. Now, this is something I really never partake in, because y'all know I'm unaffiliated. I'm unaffiliated to the core. But within this election right now, especially within my city, there is a lot of corruption happening, and a lot of that corruption is happening on the right side of politics within my hometown. So I am leaning towards a lot of the left leaning candidates, right? So the information I have is left, is Democratic, all down the ballot. And so in general, I just asked, I'm like, hey, look, here's some information. If you're interested, hey, here, just take these as, it's free flies, it's harmless. If you don't like it, you can toss it, you can do whatever with it, but here's some information if you're interested. The gentleman said that since he doesn't partake, he doesn't watch the news, he doesn't know anything about politics, he chooses not to vote, and he never votes. Now, this man is probably my age, right? I'm 29. Now, he can be 29, he probably is in his early 30s, or like I said, he's not it, maybe a year or two under me, maybe. But I just told him, I'm like, well, hey, I understand, especially for people our age, why it's not appealing or attractive with the whole political cycle and things on that nature, because a lot of people feel uh mis was a lot of misinformation that goes out from one, and a lot of people don't feel trusted, right? Now, I didn't go too much into detail as far as that, but I just said, hey, look, a lot of people are aged, they never really get the knowledge about politics. Even if you choose, like, not to follow it. If you pay taxes, which I hope he does, but if you're a taxpayer, if you are a resident, everything affects you happens in local office, right? Whether it's you complain about, hey, there's no traffic light within this intersection, there's been a lot of accidents, who are you going to call, right? Who are you going to call? You have to encounter and have an understanding of who serves on your local office. Potholes, um um I don't know, no recycling, I mean, crime, I mean, everything comes down to local office. Your police, everything is a form of local office. So um that's what, I just told him, I'm like, here's some information. He said his wife is most likely is the voter in the relationship. So I'm like, well, look, hopefully she can help. Man, my voice cracking. Hopefully she can help kind of sway and give you more of an understanding on the importance of the election, especially in this cycle on a local, state, and federal level. And hopefully if he starts listening, hey, 3 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes, and keep growing that up, because bro, there's just so many. There's so much young people. There's so much young people out there, man, that just I'm listening. I hear my dog outside of the of the door. That's why I'm just like, wait a minute, is he saying something? So you just have to keep people afloat and abreast on, like, just information, y'all. And see, and I bring this up because personally, shame on political parties for the lack of information, for the lack of messaging. Okay, because see, a lot of young kids, and I mean, when I mean young kids, I mean, like, not myself, but I know a lot of people before they were even the age of voting, their parents would say, no matter what, vote Democrat, no matter what, vote Republican. To me, that's being misinformed, because they're already just brainwashed saying, well, we're always going to vote here, we're always going to vote here, whatever. No, the older they get, they need to always be involved, as far as saying, hey, look, if this is your views, you might want to lean here, or here's policies from both parties in the the year before you turned 18, because 18 is the age where you're legal, you're eligible to cast your vote and to register to vote. So you have to keep these folks informed. You really do. I see a lot of candidates out here from both sides that just, if you're trying to win so much, man, you gotta really do all you can to inform people on exactly who are they voting for, rather than just saying, hey, look, I got this letter in front of my name and that letter. You really gotta inform them, but also do you have to speak the accomplishments from which political party. Like, a good friend of mine was who's a Democrat, but she was just saying how sometimes Democrats piss her off because they don't speak on their accomplishments as much as Republicans do. And so everybody is assuming that economy is great only when there's a Republican in office, which sometimes there's some truth to it. I'm not gonna say that's never the case, but in recent elections, it hasn't. That's not true. So again, information. We're living now in a tech savvy world. So the older generation will say, you don't get your news from your cell phone, don't get your news from social media, get it from the news. No, sometimes, y'all, the news only gives you headlines. They don't give you the meat and potatoes. Like, hey, sometimes social media on the digital space does. Now, a lot of people are, what do you call it? Got a short expectancy, right? Everything they look at is like 30 seconds and 40 seconds or a minute long video, and they feel like they have all their information. That's also being misinformed. But I'm happy that a lot of candidates are starting to pursue podcasters, because podcasters have a huge audience, long form, long standing podcasts. I mean, hell, like Joe Rogan, he recently did an interview with Donald Trump, which, I mean, sheesh, it was a 3 hour long interview, which that's why Joe Rogan is so freaking famous, because he's the only guy that can really succeed at long form, excuse me, long form podcasting like that, and have those conversations with people. Um, as we're speaking right now, Joe Rogan's interview with Donald Trump, which in the first 22 hours of it being up on YouTube has 20 million views. Holy, you know what? And I was looking for, you know, what I'm trying to say. I was looking for a sound bite where I can, you know, bleep it out, but I can't. Working on some new equipment. But but yeah, it's just that experience, door knocking from house to house, really speaking with people that was interested, people that obviously wasn't. It was interesting, but it just shows the efforts that candidates have to do. And not saying door knocking is their only avenue of trying to get in the citizens' faces, but it's a great tool to do, because at the end of the day, you come to me. Sometimes I might not have the capabilities of always coming to you. You come to me and talk to me about what what's your plans and what you gonna do for what you gonna do for me lately and all this other stuff, because it is so much that occurs, especially on the local level, that just citizens don't even know. Hell, citizens don't even know who serves on their school board. You know what I mean? That's why again, I spoke highly about Killer Mike, because Killer Mike is very passionate about knowing who is on your local level, because he knows, especially in the black community, we tend to just get lazy, man. Not all, but it's a good number of us that get lazy and are like, man, I don't pay no mind with this. There's a lot of folks, and we have to pick up those numbers, man. There's a gentleman, Gary Chambers Jr. out of Louisiana, man. He plays a soundbite clip here and there of just the so far the early voting number of black men and just black people in general. Like, I mean, we got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. Got to do better. Um, Let me see how am I looking with my time. Yeah, so that was my experience. That was my experience. Got scared a few times because I saw some mean dogs at the door. No one got rude with me if they refused to do it. I'm like, hey, look, don't I'm not gonna, force you. I'm like, oh, have a nice day, keep it moving. It was an experience, but again, 100 homes. This was my first time. 100 homes. Whew. Warrior boy out. When I tell you warrior boy out, and then I had to head on to the studio to record a podcast that I do a podcast with a group of friends of mine called In Your City. So I please hope you are tuning in to that, hosted by myself along with comedian Ciroc Fox. Entrepreneur, we call her Hustle Queen, Miss Michelle Young, and it's produced by my good friend and awesome producer, Mr. Cam McGodley. So do that on a weekly basis, and still doing this. So you're like, Arrington, do you ever get tired? I never get tired of talking. Until y'all shut me up, then I'll stop talking. But most of the time, I never get tired of talking. But my body was exhausted. But we had a great, impactful conversation in regards to why young people are not either choosing not to vote, or either why what the reason why they're misinformed, or those are really around the topics that we were bringing up. I mean, hell, we have now, we've been talking about the black male vote, right? Why are black male voters either choosing not to vote or moving more towards the Trump side, right? So we had those conversations here on this show, and we want to again inform you that your vote matters, fellas. I'm a black man. I've been voting since I was eligible to vote. Um, your vote is your voice. When I come out to functions and it's a low turnout and these are free events, man, it I'm sorry, but it pisses me off. It does, because I know for sure there's passionate youth out there that really cares about this country, democracy, their local areas. I mean, if you notice, there's so many young philanthropists out there, Why? Because they're passionate of issues that occur within their communities. In order sometimes to help build up those communities, you do have to have a relationship with your local office, your local government, city councils, school boards, mayor's seat, state delegates, state senators, you name it. You got to have them on dial, man. And they literally give you their number. They give you their emails. Now, I know what you're about to say. Well, Arrington, some of them choose not to answer their phone. They never get back to me. And that's why I choose not to vote. Or, the Republican Party betrayed me doing this, or the Democratic Party betrayed me doing that. So I just said, F it. I'm not going to waste my time anymore, waste my money from, donating. And I'm done. Look, I understand you're upset. But you know what? Consistency is what keeps the changes to happen. If you stay consistent on, continue to vote, stay consistent on being passionate and keeping these officials foot to the fire. Don't ease off the gas. Keep going. You feel me? That's just my 2 cents, y'all. That's just my 2 cents right there. Stop it. That's just my 2 cents. So look, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We have more conversations headed your way. You are listening again to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Next up on the chopping block. Look, I mentioned there was some issues happening in the world of Hallmark. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Hallmark fan, especially when it comes to the holidays. Look, I'm guilty. I watch me some Hallmark Christmas movie, and I love the Hallmark Mystery Channel too. So y'all don't judge me. Y'all can kiss my you know what. All right. I enjoy I enjoy me some Hallmark. But recently, man, Hallmark is hitting with a big lawsuit from some major stars from their network. Stars like late actress Lacey Chabert, as well as Holly Robinson Peete, the iconic Holly Robinson Peete. Alleging that the too old for the company. Per new lawsuit. This reported by Fox News Business, Fox Business, says here that a new lawsuit is alleging that executives at Hallmark called some of the primary stars old people and participated in age discrimination of an employee behind the scenes. Now, the complaint obtained by Fox News Digital was filed by a former casting director with the company, Penny Perry. Alleging that the executive VP of programming, Lisa Hamilton Daly, singled out several stars, including Holly Robinson Peete and Lacey Chabert, as aging out and the channel being in need of new talent to take their place. Says here specific to Robinson Peete, who is 62. By the way, Holly, it looks phenomenal at 62. You've her and her husband, they look like a glass of fine wine. They take great care of themselves, and been married for years too. Just dope. Her husband's a retired pro football player. Says here Hamilton Daily is alleged to have said no one wants her because she's too expensive and getting too old. She can't play leading roles anymore. For Chabert, who is 42, the executive legend said that Lacey's getting older and we have to find someone like her to replace her as she gets older. Damn. Um, let me stop right there before I read a little more. So here's my 2 cents with this. There has been I've seen films on Hallmark with both of them, by the way, because they are some of their primary stars, but they're on multiple movies and projects on Hallmark. Holly has played roles where she's much younger than her age, but that's because she looks great for age. She can pass on for someone years younger than her. This girl Lacey Chabert, same thing. She doesn't look her age. She looks like she can and I think she's from Mean Girls, the film Mean Girls, if I'm not mistaken. But she looks like she can play, younger roles, which I'm pretty sure she does. Here's my take. And not trying to sound ageist here, but I don't all the way disagree with the executive. Now the wording is a bit vicious, saying, "Oh, they're too old, they're just," and I don't know the context of how she said it. You know what I mean? Or I don't know how the tone. I don't know her tone that she said it like that. But at the end of the day, you do need to provide an avenue for the next up and coming stars, right? Like you just can't. I mean, come on. We talked about Liam Neeson. He literally said, I'm retiring from action films. I'm 72. It's not realistic. I can't continue to play these roles. Leave it on for the next up and coming stars, right? So with this turning into a lawsuit, I feel as though it's not right now. If there's a contract dispute, like if they're saying let them go and not trying to pay the remaining of their salary, yes, there's obviously have to be some lawsuit because that's a breach of contract. But come on now, you're suing them because you're offended the fact they said, hey, look, we gotta move it on. We can't keep y'all forever. We gotta get some new faces. Now that's really, if she was smart, she would have said that and not just say, oh, because they're getting too old. Because sometimes it's hard to give tough love, especially in in this era, right? There's other companies, there's other jobs, or excuse me, avenues of work that there are people that have worked there for years and years, and they're not trying to retire, and you just can't force somebody to retire. But it's like, when are you going to make some room for the up and coming, right? There's a lot of kids that are highly qualified that are just got their degrees and all this other stuff, and they're like, well, I'm waiting for this position, but somebody got to hurry up, and they can't just fire the person because they're doing a good job in this. And that's the thing. Like, if they're doing a great job, why fire them? If they're doing the film great, if their acting skills are great, why? Now, I don't know what's in Hallmark's budget. Obviously, they said, Holly Robinson Pete is too expensive. You can't afford. Hey, that's business. If you can't afford and the person's getting older, I would have said the same thing. We got to find somebody that's a little more inexpensive, because usually much younger up and coming stars are less budget wise. If they have a certain budget that they can't go over, and Holly Robinson Pete has required them to go over that, and he just can't afford it, they're like, hey, look, let's go with the next person. But here's how it's gonna bite them on the ass, guys. Holly Robinson Pete has a huge fan base. One thing I've disliked about Hallmark in the past was Hallmark was very vanilla, very, very Miracle Whip, very, very mayonnaise. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is that they had a lot of white people. I didn't see a lot of black people in their films. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. And what had occurred was a lot of their Christmas movies rarely had black stars, lead acting roles. They might have played supporting roles, but they usually had like one black person in the film, and that one person was like the town's longtime mailman, or the town's longtime I don't know, street musician player. Like even the roles that they played in the films is like, why the black person gotta have the homeless role? You know what I mean? Like it was just, and I wasn't feeling it. But Hallmark was always known to, it was like Where's Waldo? Like where the black person? Oh, I found one. I found one. I remember when they started doing the transition into having more black acts. It was like one film I remember caught and they had like Danny Glover. I'm like, oh snap, you got Danny up here. Who else? That's it. Okay. And then they started to encourage by having people like Holly Robinson Pete. They had the Mowry sisters, one of the Mowry sisters up there. They started to bring on black actors and actresses. Still not a lot of minorities within the cast, but they started to have more stars playing black roles. Sherry Lee Ralph as well. And then recently they started a division called Hallmark Mahogany. Mahogany. Because they had that this was all black films, right? This was all black films. Now networks like OWN and BET, they started having their own Christmas movies because hey, they said, well, if we can't get it from Hallmark, we're gonna create our own, which I thought was dope. But I'm going all around the place, but what I'm trying to explain is Holly brought in an audience that was not familiar with Hallmark. Lacey has an audience, but you know, I don't think it was as popular as Holly Robinson Pete. I mean, you're talking about Hang with Mr. Cooper. Okay. You talk again, a sitcom legend. And so in this case, I do think that the actors won't be that successful, but the way the world works, they might do they might settle for something on the back end because there's other channels that will love to have them and in the line of work, or if it helps their case, the fact that they didn't really get a lot of offers, because let's be honest, sometimes Hallmark, they go for people that just hasn't hit it big or is getting offers from, in my opinion, from like Hollywood. Hollywood ain't been calling me. Well, look, let me go to Hallmark. Come on, y'all. I'll be running to actors and actresses I ain't heard from in years. Oh, but they on Hallmark. Okay, they are on Hallmark. So Hallmark gets people that's available sometimes. Not saying all, but they usually get some people that, okay, yeah, let's get this person and let's stay with them because they available and we can I know they looking for some work and it's a little money's a little funny, so let's go ahead and bring them on. As I continue, Perry's complaint also claims she was told not to cast old people in Hallmark roles and named several other actors, including Elizabeth Mitchell, Catherine Bell, Allison Sweeney, Autumn Reeser, Kelly Martin, Nikki DeLoche, Rachel Boston, Brennan Elliott, Cameron Matheson, Paul Green, and Eric Close, and Terry Hatchard. In a statement on behalf of the Hallmark Media, representative said Lacey and Holly have a home at Hallmark, but just not, they gonna have a home if they can, renegotiate. We do not generally comment on pending litigations, and while we deny the outrageous allegations, we are not going to discuss an employment relationship in the media. So again, it's kind of that guilty talk, like they like, oh shoot, we done got caught kind of thing. But we will see. I'll just be honest. I hear both sides of this. I really do. Now, what side I'm leaning more on? That I don't know. I mean, it's just sometimes, y'all, you do have to start out with the old, in with the new. It sucks. It sucks, but it's the truth. It is the truth. And okay, so are y'all gonna continue, or maybe just rebrand some of the films, make it more relatable to the character's age, but do not try and not provide any work for them because of their age. You can always adjust. There's old people that, well, sorry, I'm not calling them old, but there's people more experienced, more seasoned to play some roles. So I mean, I think that's what they should start doing. But that's just my 2 cents, my friends. That's just my 2 cents. Let me go ahead and move it on from this. Let me take it on all the way to Romania. Yes, Romania. So it says here that rapper entrepreneur Wiz Khalifa was recently indicted in Romania. Why? Because he was smoking the easy Mary Jane on stage. Shocker, shocker. Not really. But as it says here, this is reported by Rolling Stone magazine. Wiz Khalifa indicted on drug charges in Romania after smoking on stage. Right. So says here that Romanian authorities launched a criminal investigation into the rapper in July, actually, after the 37-year-old smoked a joint on stage at the Beach Please Festival in Constantine. I can't even say that word. That's a little says here that wait a minute. Says here that that press relief. Hold on real quick. Says here that press release shared recently that Khalifa was indicted for committing the crime of possession of a dangerous drugs without the right, with a view to consumption on his own. The release said that the star had 18.53 grams of cannabis on him. Sounds like that man was trying to party, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, as well as a cannabis cigarette, and his case was submitted to the Constantine court. Authorities said Khalifa criminal investigation has been completed and his indictment has been set court for trial. Now, when he was arrested in July, the rapper saying he meant no harm by smoking on stage and wouldn't do it again. The use of recreational cannabis is illegal in Romania. Okay, so what's the point of him being indicted? That's actually kind of odd. If it is legal. I'm sorry, excuse me. Oh, is illegal. Duh. See, Aaron, I get kind of slow sometimes, y'all. Don't judge me. So yes, it is illegal. So he said last night's shows was amazing. I didn't mean any disrespect to the country of Romania by lighting up on stage. They were very respectful and let me go. I'll be back soon, but without a big ass joint next time. Look, my friends. If a country, I ain't talking about a city, I ain't talking about a business venue, or excuse me, a music venue or whatever. If one has a rule, please abide by it. Stop playing stupid. And Wiz Khalifa, sometimes you just gotta stay off the weed. Especially if you go into a country that it's illegal, okay? Illegal, not legal, illegal. You probably was smoking when you read it and probably thought it said legal and not illegal, and now your ass got to go to court, okay? Like, dude, and see, it's hard for it's hard for Wiz Khalifa because it's very on brand, just like Snoop. Him and Snoop came to my hometown multiple times, and when I tell you, I wasn't even there. I could smell the cannabis from afar. It was probably like 45 minutes away, and I could smell it in the air. Because why? Is that's very on brand. Look, sometimes joint, weed, marijuana, it might be even in the title, the How High tour. You know what I mean? Like, stuff is in the title of the tour. So at the end of the day, it's very on brand for him. Obviously, it's hard for him to avoid it. And look, I'll be upfront. I'm all for legalization of marijuana, but I do think people abuse it and take advantage of it as well. And if you know that, hey, look, I love whiskey, or I love cigars. I have an occasional puff on some cigars, maybe like once or twice a month. Really, I'll be honest, it's very occasional. But I'm just assuming that Mr. Khalifa partakes, I don't know, daily. Okay, so if he partakes daily, it's a part of his routine. I know it can be difficult especially if he's spending, say 5 days in Romania. I understand, but please be careful because with stuff going on in our country, man, you don't want anybody to make an example out of Wiz, just like how they did Brittany Grinder, because it was uncalled for. But at the end of the day, too, you just gotta be careful of other overseas laws. You know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff is not legal overseas compared to how it is in the United States. That's why we have a huge privilege. We get away with a lot of stuff. We have a luxury of having a lot of things here. So it's just be careful, y'all out there. Please be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Let's see. Right now we are looking good on time. Before I head out, I do want to play this soundbite from Idris Elba, who apparently has interest in moving to Ghana to permanently move there and build a film industry and launch a new film studio. So let me play this soundbite from him, and then it's already up there. Okay, good. So let me go ahead and play this soundbite.
Have to invest in our storytelling. Our culture has oftentimes been told back to Africans out from outsiders. All you're going to see is trauma, how we were slaves, how,
So that's just a little bit that hold on, let me see if I can.
I'm going to live in, Zanzibar. I'm going to try and go where they're telling stories. It's going to happen. I'm here to bolster the film industry. That is a 10-year process. I won't be able to do that from overseas. I need to be on the continent. I'm going to live in Accra. I'm going to live in Freetown. I'm going to live in Zanzibar. I'm going to try and go where they are telling stories. It's going to happen. I'm here to bolster the film industry.
I think that's pretty dope. Kudos to Idris Elba, because he's a British actor. He's originally from London, but obviously he has roots. I mean, you see, the man is as dark as the back of my iPhone screen. Like he dark, he black now, but he's big on his roots. And you know what? I hear nothing but beautiful things about Ghana. I never had the chance to visit. I hope to sometime. But he's very, very passionate, very inspiring, and I do hope that one day I can visit. But at the end of the day, my friends, what he's saying is true. It's a community that has so much great, rich history. But hey, let's build up the film industry up there. Let's really give their give them their flowers in a sense, right? And I think somebody has to do it. And why not Idris Elba? He's a Hollywood star. He's he raps, he DJs. He's a talented dude. And so I thought this was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting, my friends. Let's see here. Look, we are coming to a close, but before I head on out, my friends, look, do me a favor. Be sure to continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Friday. Look, weeknights at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can also tune in digital and streaming platforms. The streaming platforms of YouTube, our Smooth Club Media is our YouTube channel, our Smooth Club Media, as well as on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show. Or you can just type in the Arrington Gavin Show, however you want to do it. You can type in the Arrington Gavin Show on YouTube as well as on Rumble. You can check us out on Facebook as well. Follow us on our social medias. Instagram is the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, we have some great content coming your way, and we also have we're gonna do a live happening very soon on election day. So we're gonna be doing that very soon as well. I'm thinking around starting at 6. We probably start at 6 on election day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be live on our YouTube as well as on our Facebook page, and it'll be myself along with 2 community leaders in the Hampton Roads area, guys who have worked in politics and in philanthropic work all across the East Coast and really just all across the world. And so I'm going to get their take on the upcoming election, federal, state, local, the whole 9 yards. We're going to talk about it. It'll be on for about a good hour. And then your boy's going to be all around the place on election night. But I'll probably pop on our Instagram page to kind of document some stuff and vlog a little bit, and hopefully get some conversation with some upcoming for some candidates, hopefully some winners too. So we will talk a lot about that on that day. Look, if y'all have not voted, please get out and vote. Vote. Your voice is your vote, my friend. So please make sure you guys vote and get registered. And yeah, I will see you next time, my friends. Y'all take care. God bless. Again, tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. We are your show where you can just kick back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. You can also join, again, just join the conversation, and we can, learn from something, because I learn within conversation, my friends. All right, I'm out. I gotta go. Y'all stay blessed, and be easy out there. Stay safe. I will see you next time here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.